Do not run after her train. Do not. Do not. Ugh.
It's kind of sweet.
Kind of trite.
Shows that he cares.
It shows he's a moron. Who outruns trains? That girl's thinking, thank God I got out before wasting my life on that idiot.
She looks sad.
Then she's a moron, too.
The Half of It is a 2020 Netflix original about a shy girl named Ellie Chu who writes other people's school papers for them. Things get a bit complicated for her when lovable but inarticulate jock Paul enlists her help in writing a letter to a girl he likes named Aster. The only problem is, Ellie might just have feelings for the exact same girl. Now, everyone loves a good love story. There's something about seeing two people fall for each other and start a relationship that makes us all gooey and warm on the inside. That being said, if you're looking for a cute love story, you'd probably think the movie The Half of It isn't the way to go, seeing as Ellie tells us this in the very beginning of the story.
In case you haven't guessed, this is not a love story.
But that's where you and Ellie would be wrong, because The Half of It is absolutely a love story. Just not the one you would expect. Because while most people would expect a story about Ellie and Aster, it isn't entirely their story. This is a story about Ellie and Paul, and about the friendship that connects them.
Hey! Who you calling choo-choo? What kind of wuss to say dumb shit and then drive away? Hey, you better run! What?
The main hint that this is not Aster's story is what I like to call the replaceability factor. If you replace Aster with any other girl in the movie, one of the mean girls, one of the band members, the story remains the same. Ellie's life remains the same. In reality, Aster herself isn't the important part of the story. We don't know enough about her to make her the important part of the story. She's easily replaceable with anybody else. But if you try and replace Paul with any other character, the story isn't the same. Ellie's life isn't the same. Anybody else in Paul's place creates an entirely different reality for Ellie on both a shallow and deep level. Paul is the reason Ellie starts talking to Aster in the first place. Paul stands up for Ellie to the drive-by idiots. Paul starts hanging out with Ellie's dad. Paul helps save her performance. Paul makes sure she's safe after she's had too many drinks. And the most important part of all of this is that he has no ulterior motives. Sure, he starts talking to Ellie because he needs help wooing Aster, but as he gets to know her, they start hanging out in earnest. And sure, he does develop a little crush on her, but only after someone else points out she's attractive, and the crush is short-lived. Nobody made him spend time with Ellie and her dad. Nobody made him help her at the concert. Nobody made him take care of a drunk Ellie. He did all of that because he wanted to, and the impact he has on Ellie's life is astronomical. His role in the story, and in Ellie's life, is tenfold that of Aster.
All hail the brightest Hamish.
Thanks. You didn't have to give me a call?
Oh, yeah, take one.
No, I don't want a call.
Good.
A hugely important part of these relationships is how their absence feels. When we love someone, we often feel it more when they're gone than when they're here. I think the moment that really sums up this sentiment is when Ellie is trying to steal snacks from the vending machine and Paul kisses her. Aster walks in, and it becomes a three-way struggle with Ellie caught in the middle. It's this moment that Paul realizes Ellie's feelings for Aster. While Aster simply walks out, Paul says,
It's a sin. You're going to hell.
This double betrayal is so telling of both Paul and Aster's roles in Ellie's life, because it's not Aster's departure that hurts. It's Paul's. Hearing those words from Ellie's closest friend sends a knife into Ellie's chest. It kills her and physically pains the audience. Afterward, it's not Aster's absence she feels, it's Paul's, and it's Paul she wants back in her life.
I always thought that there was one way to love. One right way. But there are more. So many more than I knew. And I never want to be the guy who stops loving someone for loving the way that they want to love.
After the big revelation, darkness falls for our characters. Even though everything about how they left things constitutes forgetting about each other and never speaking to one another again, that's not what happens. Paul starts researching LGBTQ questions. He still brings Ellie's dad meat from their restaurant. And you can see the sadness dripping off him by the leader. He misses her. He's confused and conflicted, but the one thing he definitely knows is that he misses her. He can't let go. This is summed up by Ellie's dad saying,
"Have you ever loved someone so much you don't want anything about her to change?"
The answer is yes. He loves Ellie too much to let this stop him from being her friend. He realizes that the Ellie he became friends with is still the same Ellie he knows now, and that he would rather have her in his life than not. And then he does the one thing that is possibly the hardest for him. He speaks. He stands up in front of a room full of other people and accepts her. The one thing he struggled to do this entire film comes to him naturally when it's about Ellie, because that is the power of friendship. Relationships start and end, come and go, but friendship is here to stay. Friends help us through the most difficult moments in life. Friends help us face our fears. Friends are there for us day in and day out, no matter what.
The caterpillar does look smart.
Too smart to be crying on a platform like a wussy.
I'm not crying.
Wussy. Wussy?
The end of the movie is a bittersweet affair. Ellie is able to make her peace with Aster and finally do something she's been wanting to, but afraid to do, the entire movie.
I'll see you in a couple years.
Of course, seeing Ellie grab Opportunity by the throat and kiss Aster is such a beautiful moment, but it's one-upped by the very next scene, her goodbye with Paul. Because of Paul, Ellie learned to be bolder, to not melt into the shadows. She learned how to open her heart. But most importantly, because of Paul, she had a friend. And having a friend, even just one great friend, is a life-changing experience. This story, this transformation in Ellie's life, started with Paul, and so it's only fitting that it should end with him as well. Because in the end, it's not Aster who ran alongside Ellie's bike day after day. It's not Aster who insisted on making her taco sausages. It's not Aster who Ellie's dad had an emotional talk with. And it's not Aster who ran alongside the train for one last moment with Ellie. It's Paul. While Aster definitely had a role in shaping Ellie, it was Paul's friendship that helped change her for the better.
Hey. You're not gonna crash and burn. You're totally gonna crash and burn.
This movie is about a lot of things. Being Asian American, sexuality, faith, finding your voice, but friendship is one of the biggest themes running through the film, and that's not by accident. So this may not be a love story in the traditional sense. Guy does not end up with girl. Girl does not end up with girl. But guy and girl meet and form a bond stronger than that of romance. Because while romantic relationships are strong, platonic ones are even more so. Relationships happen because two people are romantically or sexually attracted to one another. But as soon as that attraction fades, there's nothing keeping them together anymore. With friendship, that's not the case. The bond that forms is strange. It runs deep, and it's inexplicable. It's love in its purest form. So, the half of it is indeed a love story. It's a love story called friendship.
Moron.
Hey, it's Oishi. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is a different kind of video than I've been making so far on this channel, but I really love watching video essays about films and TV, and so I thought I would enjoy making one as well, and I was right. I had so much fun making this video, and I'd love to do more in the future. But for now, watch the half of it on Netflix. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.